everyone, Jem here and welcome to my creative space. Welcome back everyone, and we are in the final 2 days of Dephemerember, which is the challenge run by Barbara at 49 Dragonflies and Louise Heinzel. And this is for December 24, but look, you can do this challenge at any time and I would really encourage you to have a go. I've got so much out of participating. But as I say, we're coming to the last couple of days, and today is the 30th of December. So I am looking at envelope flip and secret love letter. Now, I was really pleased when I saw this prompt, because I have been actually wanting to try this particular thing out with envelopes for a while. I saw Kerry Griffiths demonstrating this, Kerry the Crafter, and I will put a link to his video down below because he may well explain things better than I can. But he did this as an envelope journal, and so I'm going to follow the same process, but change it up slightly so that it becomes more of a flip that can go into my journal. So without further ado, as you can see, I've got my gel plates out today. This is an 8x10, this is a 5x7, and I've also got a range of old envelopes. Now, as you can see, some of these are upcycled, some of them are a little bit battered, but I've got a range of sizes, and I have checked that they will all go into my journal. And the first thing I'm going to do is to actually get some colour on these using a method that was demonstrated by Kerry, and using my gel plates. So I have a range of colours here. When I looked through my Dephemerember journal this week, I realised that, you know, I'd actually kept it quite neutral. There's a few splashes of colour, but a lot of it is fairly neutral tones. So today I've pulled out a range of colours, and I've got some chalk paint here as well, which is new, and I'm going to give that a go on the gel plate. I don't know how that's going to work, but you know, it's always worth trying. So I've got a range of colours here. I've tried to sort of keep them greens, blue, pinky, purpley, that colour range, and I've also got some white and some silver. And what I'm going to do to start with is I'm going to use my small gel plate as a bit of a palette. And as I say, this is a trick I've picked up from Kerry, and I'm going to start with quite a dark paint. And I'm actually just reaching for my apron here because I've got a black t-shirt on today, and I am really messy when it comes to painting. Right, apron on, that's good. Okay, so I'm going to start with this, and this is a rose red. That's a Reeves. So it's just a basic acrylic. I don't tend to use expensive acrylics on my gel plate. Now, what I'm going to do is, as I say, just use this as a palette and roll some on like that. Now, I'm going to have to work quite quickly today because it's a really warm day. And what I'm wanting is just some random colour on these envelopes to start with. Yeah, it's actually really, really warm again today. So I am going to have to work quite quickly because this is going to dry. And it is a random process, this. There's nothing fancy about it. Let's pick one of the bigger ones. And all I'm aiming to do at this point in time is just get some colour down as a bit of a background onto these envelopes. Oh. Okay, so I'm going to carry on with that dark colour as a base, I think. Oh, getting towards the end of that tube. So I hope you've all had a good holiday season, or are having a good holiday season in whatever way you celebrate. you've watched any of my videos before, you might have heard me say that Mr. Jem and I run tourist accommodation, and in New Zealand from Christmas through to the end of January is our main holiday season, so we're pretty busy. So I'm just stealing an hour or two up in my creative room today. Now I'm just gonna, I've pulled out a red envelope there, but I don't know whether I'm actually going to use that. Looking at the colour palette I've got, I think I might put that away for another day. But I'm going to pull up the last of that pink on this one. And you'll see, sort of using my hands, you get some quite interesting random type marks. Okay, so what next? Let's try a bit of this one. This is something called Renoir, and this is one that I get at one of our local dollar stores, and again it's absolutely fine for using on the gel plate. So this colour is what it just says teal. You see you're going to get some lovely layers start to build up like this. Okay, so you get the picture. I'm going to carry on. I will speed up the video from here, but I'm going to carry on just adding to these envelopes with various layers of the colours I've got, and then I'm going to let them dry and I'll show you the next bit. Right, so as you can see, there's some nice painty colours there, and they're all dry. What I'm going to do now is to start and put some patterning on them. So I'm going to use some lighter colours. I think I might start with a bit of this green, which is it says it's a muted teal. Now, as I say, this is a chalk paint. I've not tried these on my gel plate, but we'll see how they go. So I'm going to brayer that out on there, and then I'm going to use some different things to make some patterns. So this is just the good old toilet roll. And put some quite random patterns on them. Put that on there, it'll probably pick that one up as well. really enjoying having my paints out again today. It's not something I've used much during the dephemerember challenge, so I'm quite enjoying this. Okay, I'm going to keep that same colour for a moment, and I'm going to use something else. Now this is a piece of card that came as some packing recently, so I've not tried this, so I'm just going to see how this works, and I'll try it on this scrap piece first. Oh, you do get a little print there. Might need a little bit more paint, although actually you get quite a cool effect, look, because this is the other thing you can do with your gel print, with your gel plate. Oh, let's just dry that off on there. Is you can make patterns on your gel plate with something like this, and anything textured will work usually, and then pick the paint up from your gel plate. So let's see, I'm being a little bit careful because those circles are still wet, but there you go, you get the texture on there. Let's try with that bit, which is a bit darker. There we go. So it's adding another layer of texture and pattern. This is quite a nice dark one. Let's see what we can pick up. Okay, a little bit on there still. I think it's drying up quite quickly today. As I said before, it's very hot. Right, we've picked up a little bit there. What about over this side? Yep, there we go. All right, I might put I'm just trying to think what colour to go for next. I want something a little bit to add some lightness. Let's try this. Oh, this is a pale powder blue. Right. So I'm going to carry on doing the same thing, and I'm going to just use some different found objects really to transfer some patterns onto my envelopes. Okay, so I'm going to pop these to dry. I added that yellow because, although it wasn't in my original colour palette choice, I felt the envelopes just needed a little bit of something brighter. And as I say, I wanted this page to be really nice and bright. So I'm going to pop those to dry properly whilst I clear up, and then I'll come back for the next step. So these are now lovely and dry, and before I put them together, I just want to do one more thing, and I've pulled out my Stays On ink, And I pulled out this stamp set. Now, it's got some lovely fairies in, and I actually bought this to do something for one of my granddaughters. But I quite like these fairies, and I thought, as the other part of our prompt today is secret letter or secret love letter, I thought fairies, all a bit secretive, you know, a little bit hidden. So I thought we might add a few fairies in and just finish off the decoration of the envelopes like that. Right, I'm going to leave it like that for now because I can always add some more stamps or bits and pieces as we put this together. But I'm going to start putting this together now to make the envelope flip, and I've just put my stamps to one side in case I want to use them again. So this is where we just have to think and try things out before we glue things together. So the idea is that we have a whole load of envelopes that attach to each other but flip out in various ways to make, sorry, I'm talking and thinking at the same time. So I want a whole load of envelopes that flip out in different ways, and as they flip they just reveal layer upon layer upon layer. So, but we have to think about this. So I'm going to carry on fiddling with these. And I'll speed this bit up just so that you don't get bored. I'm reasonably happy with my layout. I started using a little bit of PVA, but I'm not sure it's going to be strong enough, so I'm going to switch to my matte gel medium and just grab a brush and use it with a brush. So I'm just going to grab, oh dear, not very organised, am I? I'm just going to grab a little bit of acetate there, which is an offcut, and I'm going to put some matte gel medium on there, and I'm going to use that because I think I'm going to get better coverage and better sticking with on all the acrylic paint and stuff. Alright, so of course one of the things that I did by using the fairy stamp, which is a directional stamp, I have limited myself into which way I can. So for example, I couldn't turn this one up this way because the fairy would be upside down, so I have limited myself somewhat by doing that, which is okay. I just need to remember next time. Maybe use a more abstract stamp, but that's all right, you know, we'll work with it. All these things can be worked with. Right, now this one I've got to be a little bit careful. I can't push this all the way in, because otherwise that other one is not going to flip over. So I want to try and get this just out like that, because this one is just slightly wider there, and that will give it the ability to close up. Okay, so that one's going to go underneath. Now when Kerry did this, he made it into like a journal in its own right, or a little booklet in its own right. But of course for this, well, I guess I could do that if I made a pocket in my journal to pop it in, but I was envisaging it as being stuck down to the page. And then everything flipping out, so sticking this back piece here to the page, which is a shame because that's quite pretty, and then having everything flipping out. But I might think about that, because that one could be stuck down like that, and everything could then fold up and go into a pocket in my journal, or I could just stick that to my journal. Right, I'll see. I'll think about that as I go along. I was watching a video the other day where a lady was just talking about working intuitively, and I thought to myself, yes, I think that very much describes how I work. I'll start off with an idea, but as I go along, it quite often evolves, or you know, something else comes to me that I add in or do differently. So apparently I'm an intuitive worker. There you are. Who knew? Right, I've got one more to go. Where did I have that one? Oh my goodness, was it in there? Like that? Oh yeah, can you see that? Can you see this here? It almost looks like a nose and a mouth. I wonder if I could do something with that. Okay, let's glue this down. So the other thing I want to think about is, where is my pocket going to go, which is going to hold my secret letter. So somewhere in here, I want a pocket with a secret letter inside it. Okay, so let's check. Fold, 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 fold. Woohoo! There we are. Or we could go that way and that way. No, that way and that way. Right. I'll just put that brush in some water because, as I said, it is a very hot day. So the next thing I'm going to do, as I say, I do want to leave a secret pocket in here, and I think it might be this one right in the middle. And so what I'm going to do with these other pieces is I'm going to leave a couple of pockets. I think that one, I think I might leave as a pocket as well. But I would like to, and there'll be a pocket on this side. I'll put a bit of glue on there. What I would like to do is to add some journaling spots. And again, this is an idea following the video that I saw Kerry do originally. Okay, so I'm going to cut some pieces of paper to fit some of these spaces and make some journaling spots. Right, so I've decided to use this paper, which is actually from an old desktop diary, and I've just gone around the edge with a blending brush and a little bit of purple ink just to take that starkness off. So I'm going to put 3 or 4 of these in, and I'm going to leave some pockets, as I said just now. Right, so I've completed the journal flip. And I actually did this yesterday because I knew that it was going to take me a little while and I wanted to give it a chance to dry. But here we go. So as you will see, I've added some journaling spots here. I've got a pocket here and a pocket here. And then we flip out. Got another pull out journaling spot there. We go out again with a journaling spot. This one flips over. Again, hidden journaling spots. And in this very centre, I've got this big pocket where I'm going to put a secret love letter, because of course that's the other half of the prompt for today. So let's fold all this back up for a moment. There we are. And so there's two things I need to do today to finish this prompt off. I need to get this into my journal, and I need to make the secret letter to go inside. Now, I had a look through my journal, and I've got this page here, which is the first page of my back signature. And my journal is getting a little bit bulky, but there's still some room here. So I've gessoed this page, and that's dried. And what I want to do is, using my matte medium, I just want to apply a little bit of, and this is ordinary gift wrap tissue, and I want to stick this down but get some texture on it. And then I'm going to add this in as well. Now my plan, if it works, is to attach this flap. Can you see that? Let's mine that out the way. To attach this flap to the edge of the page there, so that the envelope flip not only flips out like that, but also does the whole open up thing. So I'm going to attach, and actually I love the back page here, I don't want to stick that down. So I'm going to attach this flap first, and then I'm going to scrunch the yellow tissue and attach it over the top. So you will see this envelope bit through the yellow tissue, but I'm okay with that. So I'm going to be using my matte gel medium again today, because that's what's out from yesterday, and it works well for things like this. So I'm just going to dry my brush. I'm going to apply some matte gel medium just on this envelope flap here. It might be a little bit too much. So I'm just going to transfer some of that onto the page, because I know that I'm going to be using that in a moment for the tissue. Okay. So attach that to there. I'll just leave that laying out to the side like that for a moment. And I'm going to add a little bit more of the matte gel medium and cover all of this page now. I'm actually just going to get my slightly bigger brush that I used for gluing. It's going to make it a little bit easier. So I put some gesso on just to knock back the script that was on that page. It was a book page from Country Diary of an Edwardian Lady, and it was like an index page, and I've used it to good effect further on in the journal, but this one I felt just wanted to knock it back a little bit. You will still see bits of that script. Oh, nearly put my brush in my tea then. Hang on, let's drink it, not put my glue brush in it. Right. So with this, so what I was saying was you will still see the script coming through, but I just wanted to knock it back a little bit. So as I put this tissue on, I'm just going to scrunch it so that I get some texture, just really randomly. There we go. And that along the edges. Just like that. Pull that over just a bit. I could have done with a little bit more there. That's all right. And then I'm going to grab my brush again. I'm going to put another coat of matte gel medium on the top. Now you can use watered down PVA for doing this as well, and I think I did that in one of my previous projects. It just depends what you've got to hand. And if you want to, and I'm considering it, you can pop another layer of tissue over the top and just build up. And whether that tissue is the same colour or a different colour, you build up that texture and those layers. But for now, I kind of quite like how that's gone. So I'm going to leave that to dry. Once it's dry, I'll have a look and decide whether I want to do anything else with it, whether I want to put any more stamping or anything over it, or whether I just want it to be a plainer background, because that's going to flip over like this. So you're not actually going to see too much of it. So let's put that to dry. Put this other piece of tissue out of the way and think about our secret love letter. Now, when I thought about this, the first thing I thought about was something that I think I first learned at school. Might have been a sciencey experiment. I'm just going to bring you in a little bit there so that you can see this. And look, I am in no way a sciencey person, but I do remember this. I'm not very good on the explanation about why it works, but I know it works. So this is lemon juice. Pure and simple. We have a big lemon tree in the garden. That's lemon juice. And now I've tried with a number of different implements. I tried with my calligraphy pen, and I've tried with a cotton bud. What do you call them? Q-tip. But I found this, my little embossing tool, I found this is probably the most effective, because what I'm going to do is to dip it in and write with it. And I'm not going to sit and do the whole love letter on camera, but I'm going to show you how this works. So you dip your tool into the lemon juice and then you write with it, or draw with it, whatever you want to do. Now the trick I've found is that you do need a reasonable amount of lemon juice, and you might not be able to see that on camera, but I can see where that's wet on my paper. And I'm just using ordinary, this is an offcut of a piece of paper from a sketch pad. It is, there we go, 160 GSM. So it's a reasonable weight paper. I've also tried it on watercolour paper and it works as well. But you keep dipping and keep writing. Just make sure that those letters or shapes, whatever you're doing, make sure they look wet. And then you have to have a little bit of patience, because that has to dry. Now let's have a look through the camera. Can you actually see? I don't know whether you can see that on the camera or not. But we're going to leave that to dry and then come back and I'll show you how it works. Now dried, and I think you'll sort of be aware you can't really see too much on there, but watch what happens. I'm just going to put a piece of fabric down to protect my desk and put that piece of paper on there that we wrote on with the lemon juice, and I'm going to put a hot iron on top. And there you go. You have to excuse the black marks which have come off my iron, but your writing, with the heat from the iron, your writing is magically revealed. Now, as I said, I don't quite know the science behind this. It's something to do with heat oxidising the lemon juice, and that's as much as I know. And what I've just realised is that my iron needs a really good clean. But anyway, that's the technique I'm going to be using. I'm going to be writing a secret love letter to go in that inside pocket, and I won't be using the iron, so I'm just going to do the writing with the lemon juice and pop it in there, and at a later date myself or whoever else can iron it and reveal the letter. Okay, so I'm going to go and do that, and then we'll come back and see how the page is drying up in the journal. So I've taken another piece of that same paper and I've written my letter in here using the last of that lemon juice, and I'm just going to ink around the edges actually just to make it a little bit prettier. I've done a little clippy sort of fold over bit there. I'm just going to put a little bit of colour onto it. So that's written and dried. A little bit of colour, there we go. So that purple goes in with the is a similar colour to the envelope, and got this cute little stamp. Just going to add a couple of little hearts as it's a love letter. There we go. And I've got a yellow paper clip, very simple. Clip it together like that. There we go. So there's my secret love letter. Let's move the lemon juice out of the way. And the page is just about finished drying. So, and this is the reason I did this where my signatures joined, was that there was quite a gap, or in between my signatures I should say, because there was quite a gap, and this is going to fold in like that. So there's our envelope flip folding in. We can fold out to various journaling spots, journaling tags there. Oh, and I meant to say, I just stuck this on a piece of the brayer off sheet I was using when I made the painty envelopes. It's another journaling spot and another couple, and we finally get to our secret pocket, and there we go. The secret love letter flips in there. We'll hide it all away again, and that closes up and tucks in quite nicely. All right, so I hope that's been fun. I hope it's been useful. As I say, big thumbs up to Kerry Griffiths, Kerry the Crafter, who I first saw doing this technique with the envelopes, and I have adapted it slightly, but the main idea came from Kerry, and I've been dying to try it out. So thank you for the inspiration, Kerry, and I hope that you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please do give me a thumbs up. It helps other people see my videos, and if you haven't subscribed yet, please do me a favour and do so. I'm a couple of subscribers short of my end of year personal target, so if you could see your way clear to clicking that subscribe button, you would make my Christmas and end of year. So thanks very much for watching, folks. For now, ka kite anō.